Oh shoot! Your boy Scoop is in the house. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, holly! Look, just want to let you guys know this is your boy Scoop the Avenger here. Stream primarily during the evenings. I am a variety streamer that do quite a bit of Mario games, but I do not shy away from my fair share of FromSoft or Final Fantasy RPGs. So that is me. That is what I'm all about. So yeah, stick around, get to know your boy for a while, and come grow with me with this beautiful community we got going on.
Hi, hello, welcome in everyone. I'm Watch Holly. This is Scoop the Avenger. This is season 4 of my interviews. We're going to talk to Scoop here about offline growth and how do you grow Twitch when you're not streaming. So before we get into that, Scoop, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me and Holly, by the way. Hello, everybody at
Hi.
all time. Hello. Oh my goodness. So, all right. So my real name is Greg, and oh boy, I am a big video game enthusiast ever since I was very little. I first gotten into my Super Nintendo when I've been watching my mother play Donkey Kong Country.
Aww.
As if she would work during the day and she'll come out at night. I would just watch her play the game through and through. It made me very obsessed after that. My dad also got into Tekken at the time, so I feel like having parents as gamers and stuff like that had really just messed me up, and then I've been a nerd ever since then. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. Oh, that's so cute. I feel like I don't know a lot of people who the parents are the one that got them into gaming. They're usually the kids are, and then the parents are like, okay, fine, here's your GameCube or whatever.
It caught me off guard because I can remember this like it was yesterday, where this we were at a Honda dealership, and this was like back in '95, and I remember that they had like Super Mario World like in the kids group, and stuck with me because that's when I was able to get a Super Nintendo from the jump, and the obsession started after that. I think
Oh.
my mom did a little bit of Pac-Man, so she was always into gaming a little bit. But I think when they both her and my dad got into the console stuff, that's when it just flew off the handle.
Game over.
And then I kind of came and ran with it too, you know?
Oh my God, totally. That's so fun. I love that. All right. So you've been on Twitch for a little while now. Our goal is to kind of talk about how do you grow while you're not streaming. So do you post on social media, or what's your offline content strategy?
Yes. And that is definitely a hard part. So I usually stream on Twitter. Occasionally I do stream I've gotten to the habit lately to stream a little bit more on Instagram, and a little bit on Facebook when I can. Primarily, I usually do, I would post a lot of my TikTok shorts on TikTok, and I think that's been helping to get a little bit more traction in there, and YouTube as well, so.
Okay, nice. Yeah, no, that's perfect. And are those shorts that you post, like, tell me your content pipeline. Is it on your Twitch VODs that you post via Twitch, or do you make your offline content while not streaming and post it? How does that work?
So I usually use at the courtesy of my amazing chat, I do have a clip command that I use to capture my VODs, like certain funny moments, and then I can do the same thing.
Mhm.
So if there's something hilarious that just happened, maybe the 30 seconds prior, I'm able to clip it, and then usually they're through either my gameplay VODs, or if I have like a silly redeem that I do on Twitch that just have everybody cracking up, those are the VODs I tend to post outside for YouTube and Twitter and so forth.
Okay, perfect. And how often do you post?
All right. So in the beginning, this was definitely a bit of a struggle. So trying to find my perfect way of doing it, I got into the habit of doing it at least twice a week. Tried doing it every day, and I realized, depending on my schedule, sometimes every day might not be sustainable, but I think consistency is very important, so I usually do it once or twice a week.
Okay,
That way
nice.
I make sure that I'm continuously in there.
Yeah, definitely. What is your best performing piece of content, and why do you think it worked?
So I have a lot of crazy redeems that I can even also demonstrate here as well, but the funny thing is, I have a big background in art, so a lot of my stuff is usually through editing or animation, and ironically enough, for my Twitch community, that helps pull people in as
Mhm.
far as my interactive redeems that they can deal with. But really, most of the content that is the best performing is actually when I'm doing collabs.
Mm.
I do when I do collabs with other streamers, or if I have my mom, or if I have like a guest appearance with me while I'm streaming, those actually tend to do a lot better than just me doing my solo goofy stuff that I like to do every now and then. So,
Oh, look at
speak,
the
little
little doggo.
speaking of collab,
I know.
Milo, what's going on, little buddy?
That's how you get all the views.
And it's funny too because it all happens by accident.
I-
Oh my goodness, I'll have to. Recently, I just kicked myself because there's a clip I do have to upload later, and I had a biscuit in my mouth. So I was like, let me go ahead and see if this actually works. And I had it in my mouth, and then not 2 seconds later, he went in and just jumped in and grabbed my biscuit. So I need to go ahead and find that one. But yes, like honestly, I feel like most of the clips that I don't plan for, the comedic timing is what really helps the numbers a lot more. And sometimes you can't plan for those things. You'd be very surprised.
Yeah, no, definitely. So let's talk about other ways to grow other than social media. What is your strategy for that?
Okay. Well, as far as strategies to go, what I have to kind of look inside myself a little bit, right? Because I would watch, even though not just playing games, I would also watch movies and like occasional like comedy shows and stuff like that. And I try to grasp a little bit of what I find funny or just what I find engaging. So usually it's just kind of like I had to see myself as a viewer again, which I feel like maybe a few people probably don't think about it too much as they should. So initially when I started Twitch in particular, I had no idea that I was going to take things more route to be a little bit more of an entertainer and playing games at the same time. But I realized I feel like the ways to boost your audience to get those viewers in, you have to be a bit of an entertainer. I feel like not just phoning it in, but it's just more about making sure that you're enjoying the stuff that you do, and eventually that radiates to everyone else. And I feel like viewers can pick up on that very quickly, whether if it's like your true authenticity, in it, than just kind of just phoning it in and stuff, because it can get exhausting, Um, so yeah, my biggest thing with that is I take my time to make sure that if I can laugh out loud at this, okay, I know somebody out there is gonna find it funny. And then I just try to shoot my shot from there. If it
Yeah.
don't work, hey, I don't do it again. I know as long as I just keep, if something doesn't land, if it doesn't stick on the wall quickly, I just keep moving. I would always have a habit of writing down, which I used to be very bad at, making sure that I write down my ideas in there. So yeah, the biggest thing is to figure out what makes you laugh first, and then try to see how it's with other people. So.
Definitely. So when you do post on X, you said, and TikTok and Instagram and things like that, do you take the the Twitch editing tool and just post it automatically, or do you have any other apps for editing, or do you edit offline at all?
Okay. So in the beginning, I've used Streamladder quite a bit, and it made everything look pretty cool. Like I've used it for a while, and then and this was before Twitch really integrated. Like they had better ways of handling vertical content, because judging between vertical and horizontal, I noticed that vertical content is one of the best ways that they tend to push those a lot further than horizontal these days. So I was using Streamladder for a while to get my clips out there in the beginning through TikTok, and gained a little bit of traction. And I think it was just more of the consistency of doing it, which brought things up a lot better. Now, lately, Twitch has updated. Really, they have updated their display options so much, and to the point where I didn't really have to use Streamladder as much anymore, where I can kind of I can get into the nitty gritty, pick the funny parts on what grabs people in, and I can just immediately just post it, and it just works like that. I feel like I just don't have too much time in the day, so anything that can help me, generate that clip quickly, excuse me, and get that bad boy out there, I can do that. I can do that a little bit faster than Streamladder.
Okay, perfect. So once you post it on all of the forms of social, do you analyze your performance at all? Like the analytics?
Oh god. Yeah, I try not to. So in the beginning, I was definitely into the analytics almost every day, and for better and worse. And I
Right?
think
Yeah, I feel like every day's a lot.
I feel like that's like the mental takeaway of it all, to, you know, study your analytics, but don't obsess too hard to where if you have a bad day, that's not necessarily bad on you.
Definitely.
Just like, football game could have been on that day. A lot of viewer analytics can fluctuate. So what I do is I usually do it as a monthly basis, not daily or weekly.
Mhm.
And I just see how my viewership is throughout the month, and that's the best way I keep track of it. So yeah, just as far as like making sure how many eyes are watching on me, and YouTube is definitely a bit of a challenge that I've been trying to nail a little bit more, because I noticed, like, okay, not how many eyes that want to start watching it, how many eyes finish watching it. And so that is definitely, I can say that is a fun challenge that I have as far as trying to keep people engaged throughout.
Definitely,
so that's
definitely.
the biggest thing.
Yeah. And then my last question is, do you have any advice for other streamers trying to break into short form content?
Of course. Oh goodness, of course. I'm about to say, when in doubt, keep posting. I feel like that is the biggest thing. First of all, find something that you enjoy. I know it's probably cliche. Find something that you enjoy, do before you do any of this. I had a coworker of mine that he's been trying to understand how I do streaming and stuff like that. And I told him, I was like, don't just get in it for the money.
Right.
Get in it because I was like, just don't do that, because I feel like a lot of people jump on that train and they stop because they realize it's not as quick as they think it is.
Right.
But yeah, community building is very important. My biggest advice is to find something that you enjoy and that you want to share to others. And I promise you that there's tricklings of people out there that are waiting to play the same thing that you're enjoying, and that's how conversations get formed. I feel like building relationships is extremely important.
Definitely.
Yeah, not only that it helps elevate, your channel and your presence, you're elevating other people as well. And so then that's how communities just blow up from there. So I feel like that's very important, more than anything.
Oh, well, perfect. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you.
Of course, Holly, of course. Anytime.
Yes. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Everyone check out ScoopTheAvenger, and I'll see you guys next time. But say bye, Scoop.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.